In this episode of MPTV, we sit down with Nick, one of the founders of Primo Hoagie in Sicklerville, New Jersey. We're going to talk about what it took for the last 15 to 20 years to grow this brand from a few locations to 80 plus, including something we've seen in other interviews, sticking to the manual, running a franchise and how to run it right for success. Let's check it out. Hey, what's up? It's Matt. We're back with another episode of MPTV. This time we land in New Jersey. We're sitting here with Nick of Primo Hoagie. Nick, what's going on?
Hey, how are you, sir? Glad to have you with us today.
I'm doing amazing, and I'm even better after having two of your hoagies before this interview.
Good to hear.
I hope I don't fall asleep from eating so much, but they were amazing. But I guess first I'll start off, tell us who you are, tell us about Primo Hoagie, tell us a little about the story.
Okay, well, I'm the franchise owner of this location that we're in here in Sicklerville, New Jersey right now. I originally started out, me and my partner, we founded the company, and you want the whole story, or?
Yeah, just, I guess,
Yeah, well, anyway,
60 seconds.
we opened up a few stores, and over the last 15 years, we've expanded to 85 stores.
Okay.
So I'm kind of semi-retired now, and I'm just in this store. This is my passion. This is what I like doing, and we're using the store as a training facility. So some of the franchise owners come in here, and I'm not here as often as I used to be because, again, I'm semi-retired, but I still enjoy what I'm doing. I'm still enthusiastic about it, and I just have a passion and love for what we do.
You must, because from 2 stores to 80 plus, what was that journey like, and what was the hardest part about all of it?
Again, I didn't have a lot of background in this.
Yeah.
You know, I was a wholesale food distributor, and we just kept opening stores, and I think the product itself is what helped us to expand. You know, just the people wanting it, and people coming in to see if they could help. And we made a lot of mistakes along the way. We didn't know, but over the last 5-6 years, I think we really have it down good. Like I said, since I retired from the company, we have a younger generation in there. They're able to, I guess, use video screening and training and all that. I was Fred Flintstone to this, so they took the technology into it and are, you know, to do it. So we keep expanding. We just signed, they just signed a whole bunch of deals, I know, in Pittsburgh and North Jersey, New York, and some other areas. So we're excited. The younger generation's in here, they're taking it to the next level, and all we want them to maintain is the quality and consistency that got us to this point.
Now, we were having a conversation before, which I think is unique because I've seen it a few times, is I've heard this story from developers before of brands that you mentioned this store, that you guys came in and took it over from a former operator, and it wasn't like you did anything crazy to make it become a great store. You put this, you actually operated it exactly how the manual said to.
And that's one of the challenges. You know, we've seen the opportunity here. We took it, like I said, it might have ranked in the bottom 25%, and within a year and a half, we took it from there to the #1 store in the system. And this year, it's going to break all sales records. We really haven't done anything. We just kept the store clean, great customer service, and we followed our own playbook. We followed our own manual. That's all we did. We just followed what we ask everyone to do. And it's really not rocket science. It's a pretty easy thing to do. And then some other people have recently took over some stores just following the playbook. And we're doing the same thing there. It's incredible. Sales are up 30, 40, 50%. Nothing changes. The product's the same. Everything's the same. They might be doing a little bit more. They're buying into the advertising program, and they're just running the store the way it should. And they're treating the customer as, you know, number one, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I had a guest, Ray Wiley from Hothead Burritos and Rapid Fired Pizza, on an episode a while back, and he said a similar thing, is that they would take a store over. And, you know, early on when they did it a couple times, it was a surprise of how quickly the store turned around. And it wasn't like you said, they weren't coming in and putting all sorts of crazy stuff in play. They were just following the manual. You know, a lot of my followers, the people that watch and listen to the podcast, are restaurant operators and owners, and even a lot of franchise owners. For the franchise owners, what do you see? Why do they stray away from that? You know, if you got the guide on how to run the brand, why do they stray away from it?
Sometimes, well, there's different, you know, there's 2 categories. The guys that think they know a whole lot better. I don't know why they paid money to buy a franchise. They should have opened up Joe's Hoagies or whatever they wanted to do, and they think their way is better, but they bought into a system, You know, it's tried, it's true, it's practiced, and just follow the system. Then there's others that aren't engaged in their store. They're not in their store, they're not putting time into their store, they're leaving it to a manager, and you know, you got to put a little sweat equity into it in the beginning. Once you get the store running and you get the right people in there, then you could take some time off. But the first few years, you have to be in your store and you have to build it up. And you have to know every nuance of your store, of your business, and of your employees.
Yeah.
So luckily, throughout the years, you know, we've seen all that. But again, our manual is our manual. If you just follow the playbook, you gave me that word, the playbook. I mean, it's just, it works. It just works. And we've proven it over and over. So we're excited. We just took over a few more stores, the company has, and they're doing real well with them.
Yeah, I equate it to my son. He's 16 now, but when he was little, he'd get Legos for Christmas, and you know, the first time we would actually take it out and put it together. You know, there was times where he'd get the box himself, and it never looked what the box looked like because he didn't follow the manual.
Right.
So it's the same system that you guys have tried and true of how to make. I had the sandwich earlier, the steak, I guess the Philly cheesesteak you'd call it, was amazing. But I could also see how if somebody decided, you know what, I like mine this way, I'm going to make it this way, but customers expect it a certain way.
Exactly. Same thing with the bread. I mean, some of our own franchisees might like the bread a little overdone, a little underdone, but consistency is what makes it. So we're just trying to stay consistent throughout the system.
Okay, break time. Restauranters, it's Matt. And if you're watching MPTV, you're obviously interested in improving your business. What if I told you could finally take the hope and pray out of your marketing plan and spend money and see results? You see, most marketing starts with the same exact tactic. You gain the attention of somebody, but that's where the majority of it stops. What we do with the ROI engine is help you gain amazing attention, which drives gigantic engagement. That engagement leads to customers to tell us who they are, meaning they opt into your email, text, and birthday program, and then we drive them to buy something. We've got a lot of great programs that can help your restaurant, and we'd love to have a conversation. It's easy. Check out restaurantmarketingthatworks.com. You can schedule an appointment, and we'll hop on a quick call. Worst case scenario, you learn how to market your restaurant like never before. Now back to the action.
So talking about ownership in the store, we talked about that, and you mentioned a minute ago that franchising sometimes can attract the person that wants to, it's an attorney, an accountant, a real estate investor that wants to come in and open up 5 stores and have some passive income. And that's tough because from a marketing standpoint, I can look at a Facebook account of 2 identical franchises and tell you which one's the owner that's in the store and which one's the one that's an investor that's not. What is your advice there on how to, on that part of it?
You know, I don't want to turn them away, but we have a lot of investors that want to come in here, and you just know it's not right for our system. I'm not saying for all systems, but for the food business system, I don't think it really works. You need mom and pop operators, people that have a passion for their store, care about their business. It might be capable of opening up 4 or 5 stores, but they have to be hands-on. You have to be hands-on. I don't think a restaurant business is something you can manage from a distance. There might be other systems, bigger systems, where you can do that, but I don't think our concept supports that.
Yeah. Is that just from a standpoint that mom and pop, they know the people walking through the door, they create the relationships, and there's a deeper relationship versus a transaction?
Exactly it. You know, so when they come in here, you know, they're greeted by name if we know them, or their name comes up on the plate. We talk to them, we do everything. We go overboard to assist them with anything they want. If they want the sandwich a little bit more customized, whatever they want to do. And customer relations is everything, getting to know the people. And although our stores are franchise stores, they're still neighborhood stores.
Yeah.
People feel like, you know, when they come in, they're in a neighborhood environment.
So talking about the store aspect, and I know you're growing the brand, you guys have locations opening up all over and want to grow it even bigger. How do you identify location that's a good one? Because I mean, I see it all the time where you'll see a strip center that every 6 months or a year that sign comes down and it comes a new brand.
You know what, that's one of the challenges. So, you know, obviously we do the demographics, we do all the right stuff, but if you look at where we're at right now, I'm sure when you guys pulled up, you couldn't find us. We're in the back of the shopping center. You can't see us. There's no exposure from the street.
Yeah.
So, but they find you. Once the word of mouth gets out, we've never really done any advertising. Recently, we put a few billboards up around here, only because, you know, other franchisees come in to train here, make it easier to, you know, to find it. But you do want exposure, obviously, if you want that front exposure, but then again, the cost to do that is up. So it's a fine line, but if with social media, Facebook, rewards programs, and them different things, we're finding different ways to reach out to the customers.
So talking about the food aspect, I wouldn't consider this a Subway type restaurant. To me, this was a lot better, higher quality.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate that when people are looking at it? Because if they don't know Primo Hoagie, how do you differentiate what the quality and the product is over the 5, 6, 7 other type of sub restaurants?
Well, to advertise it, it's difficult because everybody says they have the best. Everybody says they use gourmet quality. Everybody does the same thing. So, I mean, word of mouth does do a lot. We pride ourselves. Our sandwiches are all almost a half pound of meat in every sandwich. After the sandwich is done, weighs close to a pound. And by the way, we just use the highest quality ingredients. That's what differentiates us from the other sandwich chains or sub chains. And we feel we use the highest quality. We know we use the highest quality meats. I'm also in a wholesale food business, and I'm always knew about the different qualities and concepts of the meat, from the oregano to the produce. Everything we spec has to be up to my standards and our standards. So that's what makes it, we believe that's what makes it work.
That makes sense out. Okay.
Yeah.
Restaurant owners, did you know Matt has free online marketing courses that teach you how to successfully market your restaurant? Email support@mattplap.com to get access to the courses and a free social media content calendar.
So last question, I always like to end it, and you might be a little different on this one because like you said, you're semi-retired, but back in the day when you were grinding in the business and running and gunning like most entrepreneurs, I always ask people, what did you do to put it in airplane mode? What did you do to turn yourself off, focus on family, focus on life, and become healthier mentally and physically? What did you do back then, or what do you do now?
Well, actually, I've always had a passion for it. So to me, I didn't have to turn myself off.
Okay.
I cherished Sundays with my family. I cherished going to sports activities with my son. I made sure I took time for all of that, and that's why I wanted to do it. This is my passion. This is what I enjoyed. And we kind of made it a family thing too. I mean, my family worked with me in the first store. It was a family business. My wife would help out with the work there, and we'd be together all the time. Sometimes that's not real good, but it kind of worked. So again, it was never a challenge to me to turn it off, to be honest.
Well, I wish I had that ability. I need to turn it off more often. Yeah. Well, cool. I appreciate your time.
No, and I appreciate you being here. I learned a lot from you, and I just want to thank you for all your advice.
Cool. Well, hey, Primo Hoagie, we're in New Jersey. We're heading across to Pennsylvania next. We'll see you on the next episode. Don't forget, if you want to operate within a system, actually operate in the system. A lot of franchises struggle because they go outside of the walls and come up with their own ideas. If you're buying a franchise, buy the franchise, live by it, die by it, and make it work. I'll see you next episode.